Do you know how much I've come to need you? Yes, and to want you.
I don't want to hear that.
Well, I want you to hear it. This is my life I'm risking. It's my life I'm offering.
I need time, Jenny. Time. Give it to me.
The War Widow is set in 1917 during World War I, just as the US officially entered the war. Amy, an aristocratic wife and mum, is living with her mother while her husband, Leonard, is fighting in Europe after choosing to enlist some time ago. She is listless, the days stretching out before her with nothing to distinguish it apart from letters from her husband.
And now there's waiting for Leonard. To the end.
To the end of what?
To the end of everything.
She is yearning for something more, but she hardly knows what, having grown up cloistered and lonely, having seen little of the world. When one day she finds herself crying in a tea parlour in New York, a bohemian woman called Jenny asks if she is okay.
I did everything I planned to do today, and yet nothing is as I imagined it would be.
Oh, you're so lovely. And your eyes are so sad, so deeply, painfully sad.
From there, a friendship develops, one that is a breath of fresh air in Amy's stuffy world.
Last week you were so pale. Today you're radiant.
When Jenny invites her to help her with her photography, Amy is only too delighted to accept and in the process discovers a whole new world. Only as she and Jenny grow closer, she is faced with a decision that would mean having to leave her old life behind. The War Widow is a teleplay from 1976, part of a larger series of made-for-TV movies called Visions from PBS. This was groundbreaking, offering up hopeful representation at a time when sapphic characters were routinely depicted as deranged, evil, or corrupt, and while Desert Hearts in 1985 is frequently touted as the first film with a happy ending, this one could well knock the film off its perch, because while there is a certain bittersweetness to the ending, she does choose to be with Jenny, which was such a radical choice that the director Paul Bogart was against it despite going through his own coming out story at the time. His reasoning was that 9 out of 10 women would have stayed, but writer Harvey Peer thankfully insisted that he wanted to tell the story of the one woman who left. This was because he had written the story using his own coming out story as the template, switching the genders to women because he felt that it would be better received, and indeed, it was very well received by the sapphic community, where for decades, he and the cast received messages from viewers for whom it had changed their lives. It wasn't just its ending that created such an impact, it was the intelligence with which the story was explored. Though it was a televised version of a play, far from holding it back, it offered a simple backdrop over which the delicate and profound themes could emerge unhindered. The dialogue, just like in a play, is where a lot of the story takes place. It is through the dialogue-heavy interactions between Jenny and her mother that the constrictive environment Amy lives in is revealed. The repetition of her conversations with her mother revolve around domestic mundanities. How was the latest letter from Leonard?
Was it nice?
Yes.
Well, that's nice. Yes.
Amy must remind her to tell the cook to stop buying lamb.
Doesn't this lamb taste funny? I keep forgetting to tell Harriet to stop buying lamb.
Pointedly ignoring her daughter's melancholy.
But I'm beginning to think that everything that I see that stands still, that does not move at all, is a symbol of what my life is.
Amy is begging to be seen by her mother who doesn't know how to. This is reinforced by the decadent visual imagery of their lives. It's all demure lace and tea served in fine china, a sumptuous world that is, with the advent of the First World War, beginning to fade away like the cut flowers in the vases that Amy's mother loved so much. Amy's mother is the perfect representation of the old world, who doesn't even know how to live her life except through the lens of duty and expectation.
Right. I shall just change my gown.
Oh, no. Nothing posed, just as you are.
Just as I am, just as you are. I am not coy, Miss Croydon, merely fastidious. It is, after all, the way I have been brought up.
She doesn't even seem to realize how narrow and small her world is, or if she does, she doesn't care because she fits so neatly into it.
Then it's settled. I shall change my gown.
Yes, Mother, if it makes you happy.
Happy? Oh, yes, of course. I hadn't thought of that.
and without being malicious, expects her daughter to do the same. This is all in stark contrast to Jenny's free-flowing world. Unlike the opulence of Amy's home, visually, Jenny's world is stripped back. It's seen in how she dresses, simply, without lace. Her home is sparsely decorated, but it's as if the absence of these things leave the space for inspiration and creativity. Here, Amy feels seen. She can speak freely, allow her mind to explore ideas. Even when they speak in abstraction, Jenny understands her perfectly, and it's evident that no one has ever seen her this clearly before, not her mother and not her husband. It is the meeting of intellect as well as of artistic sensibilities. As she works with Jenny on her photography, the camera becomes both a physical and metaphorical symbol of change as she begins to see her life through a whole new lens. She sees that it's not just about capturing an image, but of applying an artistic perspective to that image, which elevates it into something more meaningful. The act of taking on employment helps boost her to see that she can be more than a wife and a mother. In essence, the relationship with Jenny is opening up a whole new dimension to her life that she suspected existed, had yearned for, but hadn't known how to access. As they spend time together, it becomes evident that Jenny is developing serious feelings for Amy and, in spite of the risk, declares herself one night while they are staying alone at the summer house by the beach. While Amy has surely felt the pull between them, having it spoken out loud scares her. But I loved how she responded, by talking about a fragile teacup that has a crack in it, a teacup that will one day break, and yet for so long she continued drinking from it. Through the story, she communicates the fragility of the world she had been living in and her awareness of how fragile her reality was. That with Jenny coming along, she had had her eyes opened, but that she needed time to integrate it all. It's one of the many examples of how the script touches on its theme softly, placing each idea for the movie before the audience with an artistry that mirrors Amy's own artistic sensibilities. It also speaks to how Amy is emerging out of a world where nothing can be spoken of directly. So many things are left unsaid between her mother and herself. This is unlike Jenny, who is straight up and honest. She says how she is feeling even though it's very dangerous to do so. It is implied that they begin a relationship, one that, given the time period this was made in and the medium for which it was made, is referenced only in dialogue. Amy's mother is aware and concerned for her daughter's growing attachment, but she is unable to confront her suspicions head-on, and instead keeps asking Amy if she won't go and read the latest letter from Leonard to signal her disapproval of Jenny. This old aristocratic world is like a pretty reflection of an ideal, and with her eyes now open to her new reality, Amy can no longer play along with the charade even if the reality scares her. A particularly potent moment in the film was when Jenny invited two of her friends over for dinner to meet Amy, and Amy realizes that they are a couple. It seems to burst her bubble in which she and Jenny had been living in, and here she is given a glimpse into a possible life that is so vastly different from her own that it scares her. And yet I think it is this glimpse into this possible life which gives her the courage to leave the old one behind. The heartbreak is that in order to leave the old world behind, she must also leave her daughter because, as a woman, she has no legal claim to a child if she leaves the marriage. While most would have chosen to stay unable to leave a child or the comfort of the familiar, Amy choosing to is more than her accepting to live her love story. It is her accepting to self-actualize. So thank goodness Harvey Peer insisted on his bittersweet happy ending because, in essence, it is saying that though being brave is difficult and may cost you dearly, that it's not just worthwhile but necessary to step into the unknown to be who you really are. It is films like this that placed a vision out into the world that made it possible for real queer women to envisage a similar possibility to Amy's for themselves. And what a delight that such a groundbreaking film is also a quality film too. I've got a link to the movie in the description. Until next time, lady lovers.